who have been the best Premier League signings. Maybe they can make one or two that we're about to have a look at. We'll start with Liverpool, Jamie. The best signings of the Premier League era look like this, according to you. You mentioned Sami Hyypiä there. Explain why he was such a bargain at £2.6 million.
Well, listen, forget the top five. Sami Hyypiä is right at the top for me, and I'm going to decide in the next 10 or 15 seconds how to veer two players. Now, this is not who the best player is. This is pound for pound. And the reason Sami Hyypiä is on that list is because I think sometimes we think of this team now, and rightly so, they've done a lot more than the teams I played in. They've won the league, basically. But if I think of where Liverpool were in 1999, they were a team who were finishing 6th and 7th. They'd come out of the Roy Evans era, they'd gone close to the title, and then it was fading away. Gerard Houllier comes in, and that Liverpool team was known as a weak team. Got bullied. He came in, and over the next... So he played for the club for 10 years. He was never injured. Liverpool went from becoming a soft touch to a team who were mentally and physically very strong. And he was a massive part of that. And the success we had over the next 10 years with Gerard Houllier and with Rafa Benitez was built on defence. It wasn't about being an exciting team going forward, scoring lots of goals. It was built on solidity. And that started with his signing. So, one, the price tag, the never being injured, the 10 years service he gave, and the trophies he was part of winning the club, but a major part, I should add. And that's why I'd put him... You know what, I'm going to go for Sami. It was a toss between him and Mo Salah. And Mo Salah has been top scorer. You think of what he's won. It's a tough one. Listen,
you just made a decision.
You're going for Sami Hyypiä over Mo Salah?
I think what's interesting is that Virgil van Dijk is also on that list at £75 million, which goes to show
I thought Jordan Henderson
it's about value for money and what he's able to deliver.
What I'm saying is Virgil van Dijk came in and made Liverpool Champions League. Don't forget, Sami Hyypiä won the Champions League. The only thing that team or Sami Hyypiä never won was the league. He still won FA Cups and League Cups and UEFA Cups as well. And it was a 10-year period. The reason I'm putting Sami's not a better player than Virgil van Dijk, but Virgil van Dijk was a world record transfer fee, so you're expecting that impact. Sami Hyypiä come in, no one had heard of him, no one had seen him play. The impact he had with Liverpool was just instrumental.
I'd have Wijnaldum, Henderson and Salah and Mane in before some of those that he had. Anyway, but I'll choose United.
Let's look at yours then.
You'd have Wijnaldum in?
I think so, yeah.
Ahead of who?
They got to 2 Champions League finals.
I know,
won
so
a league.
did we.
Oh my God. I won a league.
I know, that's what I've just said that.
Gary, these are yours. This is similar
I don't put Wijnaldum ahead of Sami Hyypiä.
I don't even think I picked mine, you know. Did I pick mine?
We had a long conversation earlier in the office about it, yeah, and you were certainly there. Eric Cantona. Anybody better than him on that list?
No,
in terms of a signing?
I think that, you know, I have up front in my all-time United team that I played with.
He says this every time he comes on. I always have Wayne Rooney and
Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney. But for the best signing that I think Manchester United have made in terms of 1.2 million from Leeds, who Leeds at the time were like...
What's wrong with Leeds?
Enemies. Not like enemies. To get a player off Leeds for 1.2 million that then goes and takes you to the title, it has to be the best signing. Has to be the best signing. It's unbelievable because he's an unbelievable player as well.
This feels like the start of a debate that we're not really going to have the time to justify, but let's have a look at the overall.
Just stay on there and put repeats on after this, Premier League years.
Let's have a look at the overall. I'm not sure if you managed to agree on this, but we got there just about in the end. Alan Shearer, you both felt he had to be on there, Jamie.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the Blackburn one, isn't it? I wasn't quite sure with the Newcastle one. A lot of Newcastle fans got in touch on social media when we put this out, and I actually felt Shearer was brought to Newcastle to win the league. They'd finished second the year before, and you know they broke the world transfer record to bring him in. And yeah, you know, unbelievable what he did. But I don't think they brought him in to break Jackie Milburn's record. It was to try and take Newcastle to the title. But in terms of what he did with Blackburn, he did that. He took Blackburn to the title, and no doubt he has to be on that list.
We've heard from Gary.
I think those 5 are right. You know?
Eric, yeah.
That's why he put them there.
No, I do. I mean, the one... Yeah, I think those 5, the impact they had on those clubs...
That's what it's about, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the impact they had on those clubs. I mean, we cannot imagine... I mean, Leicester winning the league...
The Leicester was probably the hardest one, actually, when we drilled down into it, because we talked about Kasper Schmeichel and what he's brought as a leader, Mahrez. And Kante coming in for peanuts.
Vardy was the...
Well, he's the one who stayed up the longest, isn't he? And he's still there now. Yeah. Golden Boot winner also last season. But, I mean, what are we going for?
Vincent Kompany as well. The leader that he was, the impact that he had on Manchester City.
I think Cantona is the most iconic Premier League signing in terms of just what he did to Manchester United, the Premier League, you know, record that they had after winning it that first time, 1.2 million from Leeds, you know, massive rivals. To me, that can never be eclipsed so far in terms of signings for me.
Jamie?
I think it's a toss-up between Vardy and Eric Cantona. I agree. I think Cantona, it's not just what he did, it's what then Manchester United went on to do. And you think, would they have achieved that in terms of, you know, the 2008 team and 9 team, how great that it all started with him. And you think the effect he had on Alex Ferguson's career and then what Manchester United went on to do. But then you look at Jamie Vardy, where he came from.
You love the romance of that story.
No, but it's when you talk about signings, it's where he came from. I mean, non-league football to, you know, Premier League football, and then Leicester winning the league. I mean, Man United will always win leagues, will always win European Cups in the future, no matter who the manager is or players are. Leicester won't win the league again. I'm sorry, Leicester. It's the most miraculous story I think I've ever seen. I'm going to go with Jamie Vardy.
Jamie Vardy, Eric Cantona.
Yeah, but I can't dismiss Vardy either.